Okay, we're going to work on our study guide 5.0 because we have an assessment on Friday. So remember, dogs can't get internet, so we are using that to solve our equations. This is 5.0 is all about solving multi-step equations. Okay, number 1 is x plus 10 over 8 equals 2. And we want to solve this. So I'm going to put a line down here, and I notice this is a fraction, and I'd love to get rid of the fraction. Well, I notice this side is being divided by 8. The inverse of division is multiplication. So to undo divided by 8, I'm going to multiply by 8, and I'm going to do it on both sides to keep my balance. If I call this 8 over 1, these 8's will cancel out and leave little 1's behind, and I'm left with x plus 10 on the left-hand side of my equation, and 2 times 8 is 16. Now, I want to get x alone, so I'm going to do the inverse of adding 10, which is subtracting 10. To keep my balance, I'm going to do it on both sides. My 10 and my negative 10 cancel out. X equals 16 positives and 10 negatives is going to give me 6 positives left over. Now, my original equation was x plus 10 over 8 equals 2. And I believe that x is 6. So if I plug in a 6 here, this is going to give me 6 plus 10 over 8 equals 2. 6 plus 10 is 16 divided by 8. And 16 divided by 8 is 2. 2 equals 2. That worked, didn't it? Nicely done. Number 2. 14b minus 2 equals 19b plus 33. Again, we're going to solve this. No fractions this time. Do I need to distribute? Nope. No parentheses. Can I combine like terms? These are not like terms. These are not like terms, and I can't combine like terms that are on opposite sides of the equation. So there's no combining to be done. Do I need to get all my variables on one side? Yes, I do. I have variables on the right side and the left side. So I either need to get rid of these 14 b's or these 19 b's, and I'm going to choose to get rid of the 14 b's, and the way that I can get rid of 14 positive b's is to combine them with 14 negative b's. And I'm going to do that on the other side to maintain my balance. These cancel out, and I'm left with negative 2 equals 19 positive b's, 14 negative b's. I'm going to have 5 positive b's left over and a positive 33. Now, I am ready to isolate my variable. Where is my variable? It's right here. I'm going to circle the term that contains the variable, and I want this term all alone. So what I need to get rid of is these 33 positives, and I'm going to do that by combining them with 33 negatives. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side to maintain my balance. These cancel out. I have 5b, and it's totally okay that my variables are on the right side of my equation and not my left. If I have 2 negatives and 33 negatives, nobody's getting married, nobody's partnering up, I got 35 negatives. Inverse of 5 times b is divided by, and I'm going to put a 5 down here so that these cancel out, and I'm going to divide by 5 on the other side to maintain my balance. B equals negative 7. Next problem. The sum of 3 consecutive integers is 117. All right, I have 3 consecutive integers. Consecutive means one after the other, and integers are like the positive and negative numbers that you would find on a number line. So I don't know what my integers are. I'm going to call the first one x. Now, the next number on a number line is going to be one more than x. So I'm going to call my second integer, consecutive integer, x plus 1. And then I'm going to call my next positive integer, consecutive integer, x plus 2. As a for instance, if my first integer was 9, my next number would be 10, wouldn't it? Well, it's 9 plus 1 more. And then my next one would be 11, which is 9 plus 2 more. Or if my first integer was 28, the next one would be 29, which would be 28 plus 1 more. And the next one would be 30, which would be 28 plus 2 more. So the problem says the sum of 3 consecutive integers. Well, here's my first integer, my second integer, my third integer. The sum means I'm going to add them all. And this says the sum is 117. So if I add all these up, I'm going to get 117. Well, I can solve this. How do I get rid of my parentheses? I'm going to distribute a positive 1 here and here. So I have my first x plus 1x plus 1 plus 1x plus 2 equals 117. Now, even though that first term says x, I know it's 1x, so I'm going to put a 1 here just to help me remember that. So I have an x here, an x here, and an x here. So when I combine my like terms, I get 3 x's, and then I have 2, 3, positive 3. I don't need to get all my variables on one side because they're all on the left side right now. So I need to isolate my variable. Well, here's the term that contains my variable. I want that alone, so I'm going to get rid of positive 3 by subtracting 3 from both sides. So my new equation is, cancel out, 3x equals 117 minus 3 is 114. Okay? Now I want to get x all alone. So since I'm multiplying here, the inverse is divide, and I'm going to put a 3 down here so that these cancel out and I'm left with x. And since I divided this side by 3, I'm going to divide this side by 3. And when I do that, I'm going to get 38. And that's my answer. I would love for you to check that and make sure it's right. Now, the next one says the sum of 4 consecutive integers is 238. So here's my first integer. The next consecutive integer is x plus 1. So I got 2 consecutive integers. Then I have another one, which is x plus 2, and one more, which is x plus 3. This is my first integer. The next one is this one plus 1 more, then x plus 2 more, and x plus 3 more. There are my 4 consecutive integers, and it says the sum of 4 consecutive integers. So sum means I'm going to add those and those and those. The sum is 238. Do I need to do distributive property? Yep, I need to get rid of my parentheses. So I'm going to put a 1 here and distribute that, put a 1 here and distribute that, and put a 1 here and distribute that. So when I distribute here, here, and here, I have my first x, and that's 1x. 1 times x is 1x. 1 times 1 is positive 1. 1 times x is positive 1x. 1 times 2 is positive 2. 1 times x is positive 1x. And 1 times 3 is positive 3. And that's equaling 238. Okay, now I did my distributive property. I'm going to combine like terms, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 positive x's, and I have positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.